In this video, we are going to see how the organisms are going to respond to the various abiotic factors that we have seen in the previous video lectures. So there are mainly four components, or there are mainly four factors which are responsible for to cooperate with the various abiotic factors. These are, first one is to regulate, second one is to conform, third one is to migrate, and fourth one is to suspend. First, we will see the two terms to regulate and to conform. To regulate means to maintain the constant condition, and to conform means to adjust according to the surrounding condition. These are the basic two terms. So, to study that, there are two terms or two components or two contents. First one is the osmolarity and second one is the temperature. Osmolarity means the concentration of ions and the concentration of water present either in the surrounding or either in the organism. So, there are two types of organisms in case of temperature also and in case of osmolarity also. In case of osmolarity, one is the osmoregulators and another one is the osmoconformers. Osmoregulators, which are going to maintain the constant concentration, and osmoconformers, which are going to adjust according to the surrounding concentration. Same in case of temperature, there are two types of organisms, thermoregulators and thermoconformers. Thermoregulators, which are going to maintain the constant temperature, and thermoconformers are nothing but they are going to adjust with the surrounding temperature. So, firstly, we are going to see the osmoregulators belonging to the osmolarity. There are two terms, osmoregulators and osmoconformers, and then we are going to see the temperature component, that is migration and suspend. So first we will see the osmoregulator. That means the organisms that are going to maintain their constant concentration, okay, of ions and water also. To see that, we will take one case so you can understand it is in very easy manner. So we will take aquatic fishes. Okay, the osmolarity, it is betterly understand in case of water medium, that is aquatic medium. So we will take example of the fishes. Suppose a fish is having the internal concentration of ions is 15%. Okay, so there are mainly two cases in case of aquatic medium. One is the fresh water and another one is the marine water. We can call it as sea water. So the osmolarity of fresh water and sea water is different. Okay, so we will see both. First we will see the fresh water. In case of fresh water, the osmolarity is nearly about 5%, and we have taken the example of fish which is having the internal concentration of iron is 15%. Now, if this fish is an osmoregulator, that means they are able to maintain their constant internal concentration up to 15%. Now, what are the problems are there and how this fish is going to overcome that problems, we are going to see. So, there are mainly two problems. First one related to the water concentration and second one is related to the ion concentration. One thing, understand that water or ions are moved from higher concentration to the lower concentration. So first we will take first problem, that is water concentration. In case of fresh water, the concentration of water, it is more in the surrounding and less in the fish, because salinity, or we can call it as ionic concentration, is lower in the surrounding, so that water concentration is high. So water moves from outside to inside. Okay, that means inside the body of the fish. So how to overcome with that problem? Then to respond to that problem, the fish must excrete the hypotonic urine. That means hypotonic urine means the urine contains more content of water. That means whatever the extra water is coming inside the body, it is thrown outside the body by the excretion. So excretion of urine is hypotonic. Okay, then another function is do not drink. So the problem of water concentration is maintained by excreting hypotonic urine and do not drinking the water. The problem is solved. Now coming to the second problem, that is nothing but the ion concentration. Now the ionic concentration in case of fresh water, it is more inside the fish and minimum outside the fish. So ions moves from inside to outside. Then how overcome with that problem? The only option is that the active absorption of the ions. Okay, the fish will actively absorb the ions, that is by using the chloride cells, and that chloride cells are present on the gills. So in fresh water, how the fish is going to regulate their internal concentration up to 15% by excreting hypotonic urine, by do not drinking water, and actively absorption of the ions takes place. Now same in case of sea water or marine water. The condition is different now. Okay, the internal concentration of fish is still 15%, but outer condition is different. That is 30 to 35% osmolarity is there in case of sea water. Now there are also problems like water concentration and ionic concentration. First we will see the water concentration. In case of sea water, the water moves from inside body of the fish to the outside, because water content is more in the fish than that of the outer condition. So water moves from inside to outside. To overcome that problem, the fish needs to excrete the hypertonic urine. That means the urine contains low content of water and more content of urea. That is hypertonic urine. Second function is to drink lot of water. So the water is going to consume by these two methods, by excreting hypertonic urine and by drinking lot of water. The problem of water concentration is solved. Now the problem of ionic concentration. Ions are more in concentration in surrounding than that of the fish body. So ions moves from outside to the inside. Now more ions are coming inside the fish body. So how it is eliminated? It is actively pumped out of the body. The fish needs to actively pump out these ions from the body. Okay, so for that again the chloride cells are useful, and that chloride cells are present on the gills. So gills function for both by absorption of the ions and by pumping out of the ions. So gills and chloride cells are very much important for osmoregulators, to regulate in the seawater and in the fresh water also. So by comparing both, the function of the regulator is to maintain the internal concentration constant. Okay, that is the two components, fresh water and marine water, but the function is to regulate, that is these are the regulators. Now the example of the osmoregulator, it is nothing but all aquatic vertebrates except one vertebrate, aquatic vertebrate, that is hagfish. So this is nothing but the osmoregulator. Now coming to the second part, that is osmoconformers. The organisms, these are going to adjust with the surrounding concentration. These are called as osmoconform. Then take same example. The fish is having the internal concentration is 15%. Then again two situations in fresh water and in marine water. The fresh water concentration is 5% and the marine water concentration is 30 to 35%. Now conformers, what they are going to do? They are adjusting that in fresh water the fish is going to adjust its internal concentration to the external concentration, that is nearer to the 5%. Okay, firstly it is having 15%. They are going to reduce their concentration of ions by pumping out, and they are coming nearer to the 5%, so that not too much problems are there and they are able to survive in that condition. That work is done by the conformers. In case of marine water also, the internal concentration is 15% and external is 30 to 35%. So they are going to increase the internal concentration nearer to the 30 to 35%, so that they are going to survive in that condition. So conformers are different and regulators are different. The example of the conformer, it is nothing but the all aquatic invertebrates and hagfish. So hagfish is a vertebrate aquatic, but it is not a regulator, it is a conformer. So these are the two terms, osmoregulator and osmoconformers. There are some organisms which are able to regulate or maintain their constant concentration or temperature in any conditions, any surrounding condition. But there are some of the organisms, these are not able to maintain their internal concentration or temperature according to their surroundings. So what they are going to do? They are going to do that they are adjusting with the surrounding environment. Whatever the temperature is there, whatever the concentration is there, they are going to either increase their concentration to match with that, or they are going to reduce their concentration or temperature to match with that condition. So by that two factors, the organisms are going to respond to various abiotic factors. Now according to the temperature, how they are going to respond with that, we are going to see in the next lecture. 2 points are covered, to migrate and to suspense, we are going to see in the next lecture.